So this is it, folks. This is the game changer. You know, yesterday we made this video here talking about Stevie Y. Okay, not all four of these videos, but the top one there. We spoke about Stevie Y and his commentary on the Jake Walman situation and how he didn't really have any commentary. He, in fact, refused to provide any. But that in itself was enough of a talking point, which is why we made the video yesterday. But I also said yesterday that there would be some other commentaries to make about some of the other things that Yzerman ended up saying. And I alluded to it in yesterday's show that the Grindline folks, yeah, big shout out over to the Grindline podcast, they had a really long tweet that goes out there and transcribes most of what the Yzerman and McClellan presser was all about. I'm going to zoom out here, just continually zoom out. Look at how long this piece of text is. I don't think we're going to have enough time to read everything, but I want to read enough that we can just kind of get an idea as to what Yzerman's mindset is about this offseason and just overall his thoughts on how the team performed pre- and post-trade deadline. Yzerman, as we had noted, in the presser yesterday, there was enough kind of attitude there that fans were starting to become concerned. And there were enough people going out there and asking in the replies on the YouTube video itself, like, hey, what's going on with Stevie Y? This guy's feeling a lot more, I saw the word aloof thrown around there. It's kind of an emotional disconnection from the way the media and the fans are feeling. It's almost like an I'm more in control than you may think I am sort of thing. So keep that in the back of your mind as we go through these questions and answers here, that Stevie Y is not really looking at the presser from yesterday with the most happy-go-lucky sort of positive feeling mentality. It's just more like, hey, he's here to get business done, he's here so he won't get fined, and he's answering some questions. He starts out by saying he started 6 years ago with a focus on drafting and developing, and he will continue to do that. Certainly not every pick plays in their first year, and they need to develop until they're ready. The rookies that have come in for the Red Wings have given the Wings hope that they are on the right track. They felt at the beginning of the season, Yzerman says, that they could make the wild card. Same for when they made the coaching change. Not making it was a disappointment for all the team. Yeah, that's not surprising here. The Red Wings were 1 win, 1.1, whatever away from making the playoffs last year, and this year, they were quite a ways away compared to that. Yzerman says that he is comfortable and not happy that they weren't able to make a trade using high picks or prospects. So this is an interesting comment. Comfortable, but not happy. Like, he's kind of just feeling whatever about it. He's not too disappointed, but he's not stoked either that they weren't able to make a trade using one of their high prospects or a pick or something in order to improve the team, which does fall in line to what Dylan Larkin said last week about how he was really unhappy that the team didn't do that. The Wings, though, were prepared to do it. Use picks and prospects or any player if the trade makes them better in the long run. They just couldn't find that deal. At the deadline, Montreal and St. Louis made no moves, but made the playoffs. At the deadline, they looked to improve, but there were no good options where they came out a winner. This is an interesting point as well, and I think it just kind of speaks to what the Red Wings are as a hockey team right now. You know why St. Louis made the playoffs? Not because they made a big trade to get a big guy, but because they won 12 games in a row. Montreal, they just won enough to barely squeak in. Detroit, plain and simple, they didn't get themselves the advantage they needed in terms of getting a player to help them out, but they didn't win. Which is why they did not make the playoffs here. Stevie Y knows it's his responsibility from scouting to coaching. He's counting on his staff to do their jobs and hold themselves accountable to a high standard as well. He says he appreciates the passion, knowledge, and history of the fan base and understands the demand for success. Let's dive into some of the other comments here. Helene St. James instantly brings up Dylan Larkin. Bad move. Stevie Y says what he talked about has been mentioned since the deadline. He also says that he talked to Larkin directly, but he won't elaborate. If Dylan wants to, that's his call. Wants to what? If he wants to leave? I don't know. It's a long press conference, folks. It's going to be difficult to fully encapsulate every single idea from here. But yeah, Stevie Y, again, not throwing his guys under the bus, not responding directly to the Larkin comments, just saying that, hey, I had a conversation with him. I'm not going to elaborate. Are the Wings prepared to go big this offseason? Absolutely. They have felt that all along. If there is a player that wants to come here and fits, they will add that player. They have a good nucleus and would absolutely entertain the idea. I love this quote. Are the Red Wings prepared to go big in the offseason? Absolutely. Go big or go home, baby. Does that mean that there's going to be a big fish? A big trade coming soon? Who knows what that means, but Stevie Y is not totally shutting down any of that. Seems like the Red Wings trade plan is in contention here to be moved around a bit. Anything that jumps out about the slumps in March? Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about the gosh darn March slumps. We can skip that. Ask the guys to work harder this offseason, train hard, need to be harder, and bring a different mix of harder players. Todd McLellan goes out there and talks about some stuff too. He got here, and the team was streaky. When it's good, it's really good, but it takes a long time to get out of a rut. Let's scroll down and talk a little bit more about scouting and skip the conversation about the coaching staff. Stevie Y says on Pro Scouting, he says the free agency has always been a mixed bag. The shorter-term signings have been very good. Most played 1 or 2 years and served their purpose. On the longer-term contracts, you are paying a premium. You have to take their play in relation to their cap. So yeah, obviously folks are going to bring up some of the longer-term deals. Oh, the Comfers and the Cops. Like, there are some guys that you can say maybe are a little bit too long on the payroll, but still. On the current team, Stevie Y expects more from the guys that they have signed in free agency. So yeah, specifically those names. Would they do anything different? The pro scouting staff has some new faces, so they did have some turnover, and Yzerman thinks highly of those guys. They are learning the league more and understanding more. For the most part, the players responded great to the new coaching as well, but the guys still need to challenge themselves to play through things, continue with the daily grind, and win all through the season. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Not just winning in certain segments, try to win throughout the entirety of the year. Todd will spend a lot of time with Steve looking at the roster, the AHL, and free agency fits. Okay, so we'll see if there are some younger guys in Grand Rapids that will be fighting for spots next summer and next season. The rookies on the Wings were counted on in key roles for Grand Rapids. The new group of guys are in the same situation, skills that can be carried to the NHL. Now, let's finish this video off by talking about some of the other trade-related discussions, in particular, what Dylan Larkin said the other week. Take a look at this. So it was talked about and asked. Another question on Larkin, and is Steve concerned by the morale of the team without moves? Did he sense frustration with the guys? Yeah, there is frustration and disappointment. It's expected. Did he get feedback on morale taking a dip? No. Again, he's counting on his best players and leaders to give a morale boost. That's what they're paid for. Does he expect to be in the hot seat? And if he doesn't make the playoffs, should he keep his job? Yzerman says he doesn't really think about it or care what reporters think. He is going to do what's best. So, there is frustration and some pushback that Yzerman acknowledges from the Red Wings team and the players themselves for not acquiring guys at the deadline. They already said that they are willing to go big this offseason, so when you combine all that information together, sure, you want to see the players being held accountable and pulling their weight in the ways that they should be, but at the same time, Todd McLellan, Stevie Y, they're sitting up there and saying, yeah, we can go big. Now, of course, that doesn't directly indicate that a signing or a trade is coming soon, but it does illuminate that the possibility is there. And I think just understanding that Yzerman is not going to stand pat and say, yeah, well, our team is already great, that's important, because I think a lot of that messaging might have been accidentally presented when he didn't make any trades at the trade deadline. This post is really long, and we're already at a decent amount of time, so let's just breeze right through it here. There's a talk about Wallman. Yeah, we already made a video about that. There's a conversation about Grand Rapids, and then a bunch of other guys, Nate Danielson, Alex Lyon, Augustine, Patty Kane. You know, I think we can end this video off by reading the final point here. What do the Red Wings need to improve on? They have to keep pounding away at it, become more resilient. they'll hear a lot of that moving forward. If they're talking about it at Game 82 next season, then there's a problem. So that seems to be the standard that has been set by Stevie Y and Todd McLellan. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Yzerman'S response to the lack of trades, and what are your opinions on the trade plan here moving forward? Yzerman knows there was frustration, but willingness to go big, is that going to result in an actual big trade or a big move? I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think the Wings should do? What players do you think they should target? Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.